people there, this is TheRubyRevolution. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to the second IXWA Strike War Thunder dev server. There's quite a lot of new aircraft additions with this second dev server, quite a lot of surprising additions as well, which is one of them you can see here, and we'll be getting to them with this video. Now we're going to start off with this one, which is going to be the F8 Crusader, which is just literally just dropped onto the dev server without really like any fanfare or any being talked about at all. Though this aircraft has been rumored to be coming for like absolute ages, with like screenshots and pictures of it, etc., being in the development. This is such a cool looking plane. I love the F8 Crusader. Very similar in design to the A7 Corsair 2. This has a 10.0 bat rating on the dev server, and it sits after the Demon in the tech tree. So where do you really expect it to go? This is armed with a 20mm Browning Colt machine guns with 576 rounds, so no 20mm bat on this. It's got the old-fashioned 20mm with 4 of those. It can carry sidewind as well. It can carry AIM-9Bs and also AIM-9Ds, but unfortunately right now it seems like on this current build of the dev server they can't be equipped. It can carry 4 of these though, because we're reading up on this jet. It can carry 4 on like 2 hard points on either side of the fuselage, so expect to be able to carry those come live. And it can also carry, looks like, the Zuni unguided rockets as well. Now with the top speed on this on paper, it looks like it's 1,100 kilometers an hour, but what I've been reading on this, this jet should be able to go up to Mach 1.8, so I don't think the top speed on this is correct. I'm not sure if that's going to be right, so do comment down below if that's actually wrong on this jet. Should be higher, because I could not get this jet to go supersonic when I was test flying it with a live stream I did just a minute ago. But we can test this out in a test flight to see how this is. Now it is an afterburning engine. Quite a long jet. Really cool looking plane. Now the coolest thing actually with this aircraft, which doesn't look like it's on this version of the dev server either, is that this has a variable incidence wing. There we go. I'll get there as well eventually. Basically what this means is that on takeoff, to improve the lift of it, to be able to take off with more weight, the whole wing basically moves up by 7 degrees to give a little bit more angle of attack. It doesn't look like this aircraft can do it right now. I'm not sure if it'll come to the live server. It doesn't really change much for War Thunder that much, because it's mostly used for takeoff from a carrier, but it'll still be pretty cool to have if it does come for live. Now it does have radar on it. Looks like a what's going to be the range on it actually? I'm going to be able to get a lock on the MiG. There we go. Not too bad of accelerating. Although it does very much slow down once you get to the higher speeds of it. It does seem to be quite maneuverable. It seems to be very similar in terms of the flight model to the A7, as you would kind of expect really. Although having the afterburn on this does mean that it is going to accelerate a lot quicker. Now, am I going to suck with the guns here? Oh my God, can we actually catch this, Mick? There. We've also got as well new gun sounds with this patch, which I'm planning to do a video on later on, looking at those. Cool plane. Put the air brake out. There we go. A little bit different to the A7. Doesn't have that like huge air brake like that jet does. The top speed on this, at least on this dev server, seems to be about 1,130-ish sort of kilometers an hour, about Mach 0.95. Like I said though, I'm pretty sure this jet is capable of going supersonic. So hopefully that will change come live, if I've got it right. Combat flaps as well. It's definitely very turny. Although I expect it to lose a lot of their the turning capability as you throw the speed away. Wow, look at that. Let's throw it into another turn. Yeah, it performs very similar to the A7. Cool plane. Looking forward to playing this come a live server. Anyway, moving on to our next aircraft now, which is a new Me-262 for Germany, which is down here. It's pretty much a carbon copy, it looks like, of the other one in the tech tree. Doesn't look that dissimilar. Although, in terms of the secondary payload on this, we can carry these. Not sure if the other one can carry this. It can carry a 500 kilogram bomb, which the other one cannot. And I'm pretty sure the other one can't carry these either. Nope. Okay, so new rockets. And also new 500 kilogram bomb for it as well. Besides that, though, it looks like it's pretty much the same. It's got the MK108s. And it's going to get absolutely slaughtered when it comes up against other aircraft at its BR. Anyway, moving on to Russia now. Now, Russia is also getting basically some Me-262s this patch, but they're basically the Russian knockoffs of them. We've got the Su-9 and also the Su-11. They're pretty much very similar to each other in terms of the design. As you can see, very, very similar to the Me-262, but there is some subtle differences to it in the design. One of the main differences is the armor which it has, which is a 37mm and the 23mm as well, very similar to, like, you know, the MiG-17 and the MiG-15s. 30 rounds and 200 rounds for those. And then with the Su-11, which is the premium one, which is 7,480 Golden Eagles. This one is slightly different in the design. As you can see, the engines are now actually embedded into the wing, and this one is quite a bit quicker, typically, because it's the premium one. We could test-fire this out and see how it performs. There is a few other differences between the two different variants as well. The Su-9 gets an air brake on it, but the Su-11 does not get an air brake, which is a little bit of a shame. It does accelerate pretty good for a 7.0. It's going to be interesting to see the Me-262s fighting the bootleg Russian ones, and which one's going to be the better one out of the two. It's probably going to be the Russian known warfighter. Okay, let's level off. The engine does seem to overheat on this very, very quick. Put it to 90%, 97% throttle. Typical 37mm, just completely going off in the wrong direction. Also got that for 23mm as well. Does that combat flaps? Will be quite a decent premium, I think, but the higher tier ones will probably last you for longer. So unless you really want to get this jet, the other ones will probably last you a little bit longer. Let's throw into a little bit of a turn. Oh, doesn't like flaps out at that speed. I expect it to perform like really similar to the AIM 262s really in terms of flight performance. Cool plane. Moving on. Now the next plane I want to talk about I already covered on the first dev server, which is the SU-17. However, there is now an option to automatically control the swing wing on this, which means you don't have to manually control it anymore. It does seem to kick in above 700-ish, 800-ish kilometers an hour, and you can see how now it's slowly moving that wing back. There's also the KH-25s, which is what you can see here, and also the KH-29s on this version of the dev server. They are controlled from like this pod here, which is like a laser designator. And the way they seem to fire these is different to the Mavericks in that they're not fire and forget. You turn on the laser designator, and then hopefully this will fire. There we go. And then big fucking kaboom, and then we're out. These do not seem to be, from what I've done with like the testing with them, to be fire and forget or an automatic lock-on with the laser. But I can't confirm that because I might just be screwing up the settings for it. But you can definitely manually aim them. They do have quite a large explosive mass of 110 kilograms in the KH-25, and the KH-29s have 150 kilograms of like boom boom in them, so that's pretty scary. Although it can only carry one of the KH-29, so really I still think that the best fit on these is the bombs, because you're going to have more chances to get kills on people. There we go. Ooh, I missed him. Ooh. Hopefully there is a way to automatically aim the laser. Otherwise they're very similar to just the KH-23s. Anyway, moving on to our next aircraft. Now the other big addition which is just dropped on this dev server is there's a new Mirage coming with this update. This is the Mirage IIIE. This is a more air-to-ground variant or fighter-bomber variant of the Mirage compared to the C version we already have in game. Although in terms of like the weaponry, this is basically like identical to the C variant right now. And then it can carry the R530s and also can carry the R550s as well. However, the main differences with this one and the other one is that it can carry flares on it, and it also has a radar warner as well. So two of the things that were mostly missing from the Mirage has been added with this version of it. We can take it out for a test flight. Although in terms of the flight performance is basically exactly the same as the C variant. But the main drawbacks with the Mirage was the fact that it didn't have flares and it didn't have a radar warner. So having those on it now is going to be really, really good. Cool looking plane, the Mirage. Like the camo scheme on this one as well, actually. And landing gear up. There we go. The Mirage is actually one of my favorite top tier jets. The R530 radar guided missiles is definitely my favorite radar guided missile in the game. It's a shame that the Mirage only carries one of them, because they're so good at taking out targets. Let's throw them into a turn. In terms of the guns, basically the same Defa cannons as the other one. Do have new gun sounds with the 30mm as well. Besides that though, this is going to be pretty much the same as the other Mirage, just better. And that's always nice. Anyway, moving on to the next jet now. Okay, so the next aircraft we're going to look at is there's a new attacker for Britain. This is the premium one. It sits at the same batch rating, 7.3. From what I looked at on the stats, it's basically identical to the other one in the tech tree, although this is the FB2 variant of it. So the FB1 does still have the 20mm Hispano cannons on it, and this will set you about 8,000 Golden Eagles if you wish to buy this aircraft. I'm not going to test fire this. It's pretty much the same as the one we would have in game in terms of like the bombs, etc. It's pretty much identical as well. Quite a good aircraft, the attacker. It's definitely not a bad aircraft at all, but kind of similar to like the Su-11. It's like, why would you buy these aircraft when you could just buy the Yak-38 or the Harrier GR1 for like a little bit more like Golden Eagles, and then you can have an aircraft which will last you till 10.0 instead to 7.3. But it's another aircraft, and Britain is getting a lot this patch, so I guess that's another nice addition. Now we do have a prop plane being added in with this update, which is another 0, which is going in this collapse tree. Here it's the same batch rating as all the other ones. The 0 is absolutely fantastic planes. In terms of like the main differences with this has 13.2mm machine guns on it, and it carries weirdly 3 of these, like 2 in the wings, and also 1 in the fuselage, looking over the nose. And we'll test fight this quickly. The 0 has always been a fantastic planes. Not the quickest, but the turn on these are always absolutely amazing. Okay, let's go. Oh, are you going to move, 0? There we go. Oh, it's slow moving off there. Are we going to get the speed boost? There we go. Okay, landing gear up. We can listen to the new gun sounds with this. If we okay, there's the 20 mils. The 13.1 millimeters just sound just as beefy as the 20 mils do. This is going to be a really good plane. The main drawback with the other 0s was the fact that once you got through the cannons, they only had, was it 7.92 millimeters, which were like absolutely awful at taking out planes. So the 13.2s are going to be very good when you've used all that cannon ammo up. Yep, you can have about 250 rounds to the machine guns. Once you've used up all the cannon ammo on this. Absolutely love the 0s. Fantastic plane if you know how to play them properly. I think there's one more aircraft I have to look at with this second build of the dev server. Let's go and have a look. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about with this video is a couple of aircraft are now getting new HUDs, like the A7 were had in the first dev server. So the Harriers are getting them, the Buccaneers getting HUD, also the Jaguar as well. The Phantom FGR2, while it's not getting a new HUD, at least on this dev server build, it doesn't look like I have. It does have, apparently now, a pulse Doppler radar on it, which is a lot better at picking up targets when you're like higher than them, to be able to differentiate between the ground clutter. And it does seem to work from the testing I have done with it, and picking up targets a little bit easier when they're close to the ground and you're a little bit higher, which is quite good if you want to lock on, or say, fire the sparrows at people when you're below them. But we're going to test out the FGR3 quickly just to show off the new HUD with this. Okay, we've jumped into the Harrier now, and this is a new HUD, which will come into some of the British aircraft. We've got quite a lot of information on these HUDs, to be honest. We've got what altitude we're at, what speed we're at, what direction we're pointed in. Also on the left hand side we've got the angle of attack of the, looks like the nose of the plane, and on the right hand side is like the basically dive and climb. And then in the center, the bottom center, you can see there's a circle with like a line for it. This seems to be for the bomb aiming for the computer calculated impact point of the bombs. which is going to be really nice for the sim players out there, which I never really play much. Pretty small, but pretty cool addition. Should have come to the game ages ago. Hopefully we'll see some other aircraft get these at some point. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the second dev. So quite a lot more than what I was expecting, to be honest, in terms of the aircraft. There's quite a lot of new tanks as well, but unfortunately I'm not going to have time to look at those with the second build of the dev server. But anyway, let me know in the comments below what aircraft you're looking forward to most with this new update. But until the next one, please like, comment, share, all that good stuff, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one sometime soon. Bye!